Hi, everyone, and welcome to For the Love of the Map. I'm your host, Julia, aka Sweet Tea.
I'm your host, Marla, and together we are your non-stop connection to everything supernatural.
With 2.5 years of experience and over 8,000 combined workout sessions, we test it all so you can get right to the fun.
Hello, Julia.
Good morning, Marla.
How's it going?
Good.
Awesome. You know what I want to talk about today?
What do you want to talk about today, Marla?
Our stories. Our supernatural stories.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't know if you were going all the way back to our birth or what was happening.
That's why I thought I would clarify because, man, I know we record long episodes, but like our whole stories, wow.
Yeah, that would be a lot.
Yeah.
That would be a lot, but so
I do have a question. So I know that your kids got a quest and you were like, hey, let me try this. We're similar in that.
Yeah.
But were you always on like a health and fitness journey before you started getting into supernatural? Were you on one, or did finding supernatural jumpstart a health and fitness journey for you?
It definitely jump started because when I was about 8 or 9 years ago, I wasn't healthy. I had let myself go. I had had a special needs child. He's still here, but I didn't want to use past tense for him. But anyway, I have a special needs son, and I had let myself go, and I wasn't taking care of myself at all. So once I realized that, and I decided to make some changes, I learned how to eat better and lost weight. But I never had the whole, physical activity aspect of it. I never found anything that I could really connect to, that I would stick with. Bought a treadmill, threw my clothes on it. Bought everybody in 2020, well, maybe not everybody, a lot of people in 2020, when the big C came, bought a bike, like a Peloton or something. I didn't want to pay for a Peloton, so I found something similar, but a little cheaper. I threw my clothes on it, Marla. It was the most uncomfortable thing to sit on.
Gosh.
I mean, if you've bought a bike seat before.
No.
And it hurt my knees, and it never was fun.
Right.
So,
It felt like a chore.
It did. I tried a lot of things. I had Zumba DVDs. I had all kinds of different DVDs of different things that I tried, and I never stuck with it. There was never anything fun. I've mentioned before, I've never been to the gym. That's not anything that's on my radar or anything that I'm interested in doing. But then, yes, I found the headset. Bought it for my kids. It was just for them. And I put it on just to check it out, just standing in my home, in the home environment that the kids had set on there. I looked around for like 10 minutes in awe. We had bought them something like the year before. It was like this little plastic thing that you put your phone in, and it was supposed to be VR.
Yes, same.
And so I was expecting it to look like that, just kind of like rinky dink, I guess. And I stood there just like, this is just putting it on. This is real. This is crazy. And it just disconnected me from reality. And I just kind of messed around in it for a few days, and I would take it from them when they weren't in it. And, they were, Mom, give us back our headset, and then, found different apps, and I played on different things and games. And, I think I played virtual reality, which is just like a little game. You go and solve clues, never even thinking about fitness. And I think I just did a search one day for fitness apps, and I found several. There's a lot more now, but there were a few, and I tried a few of them, and then Supernatural popped up, and I was like, oh, this looks really cool. And I put it on, and I did the tutorials. Leanne pops up. I've told the story that I didn't even think she was real. I thought she was like,
AI
And
or
yeah,
something.
an AI or a CGI or a hologram. I didn't know what she was. But she was in my living room, did not think she was a real person because I didn't know about supernatural at all. Like I'd never heard of it before. Really, I hadn't heard of the Oculus. Is that what it was called then? It's changed names. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
Whatever
even
the
know.
thing is, it was we had a Quest 2, and I had never really even heard of that when we got it for the kids. So I put it on, saw her, did the tutorials, did my very first workout, and I was like, this is the most fun thing I have ever had like done in my life. I couldn't believe it. And it was exciting and it brought me joy. And I was just standing in my living room doing it, but thinking, I don't care who sees me doing this. I don't care, I just wanted to keep doing it. It was so much fun. And I think that day, my first day, I did like 5 or 6 workouts, which,
Wow.
as you know, that was like
Wow.
the worst thing that I could have
Yes.
done. I was so sore.
Did you get in the next day or did you take a
Yes.
break? Oh my goodness,
Marla, I
Julia.
was obsessed with this.
Wow.
Like, it was an immediate obsession, like in the best way possible. I
Yeah.
know that word could mean negative things, but I got in there and was just immediately. I couldn't imagine my life without it. So it wanted you when you got in it. It was like I think you had to put in your credit card info. I don't remember how it worked. It was a trial, and so I got really mad, and I was like, "This is a trial for what? A subscription based thing? I have to pay monthly because then." All the apps in there were really cheap when we got
Right.
the Quest at first. I mean, you wouldn't pay more than $5 to $7 for most of the apps. Some of them were more, but it was like some of the the bigger ones.
Right.
So I was like, I don't want to pay for this. I was like, fine, I'll do I think then they did have like a 30-day trial. It's changed. Sometimes it's 7, sometimes it's 30. You can gift 30, but there weren't gifting of any trials then. And so I think I was on a 30-day trial, and I'm like, well, I'll just try this out. When I get close to the 30 days, if I'm not still doing it, I won't get the trial. And it was $20 then, like $19.99 a month. And I was like, day 2, I'm I'm buying this. I'm having it. Like I think I even went ahead and maybe even skipped the trial. I don't remember, but I was like, this is what I'm doing. I am keeping it. I'm not getting rid of it. I'm doing Supernatural, and here I am 3+ years later, and I haven't stopped. And I don't see
Right?
myself stopping anytime soon. Like one of
No.
my biggest fears is if Supernatural went away. Like that's a
Yeah.
big fear for me. Like if I didn't
Same.
have that outlet. So yeah, that's kind of my story. I just found it on a whim and had like the most fun. And every time I get into Supernatural, even when I go in today after we get off of here, we have a really fun April Fool's workout I haven't
Yep.
seen today yet. And I'm just so excited every time. Even if it's an old workout that I've done before, there's just something about going in there and hitting those balloons, and it stimulates some place in my brain. It's never a bad time. So,
Right.
so I would like to know, what is your story? Is it similar to mine? Is it different? How did you get started in
Similar
Supernatural?
in the sense that I had no desire to use the Quest 2. We bought it for our daughter for Christmas. She played on it. I didn't even get on it, like for months.
Oh wow.
For months.
You never
Nothing.
even like put it on your head or anything and
I
looked?
mean, once to do the roller coaster game.
Roller coaster.
And I think my daughter was really big into Vacation Simulator at the time,
Oh,
and
I've played that too.
she would want to show me the little butterflies and the things she would collect, and so I would go in there. We would cast it to the TV, but she wanted me to go in, and so I would. But that was that, and I had a doctor's appointment. It was in August, and I had a doctor's appointment, and the doctor was like, "Marla, something's got to give, something's got to change. You are not well. You will not make it another 10 years if you continue living the way that you are living today. You have a beautiful little girl. She was like almost 9, or she had just turned 9, I think, at the time. And the thought of only making it till like her 20th birthday scared the crap out of me.
Yeah.
Like, that was on a Friday. And then that Monday, I took her to school and I dropped her off. And I decided I'm going to do this program that I've seen some of my friends on the internet doing, which was called 75 Hard. And I went for a walk after I dropped her off at school. And then in 75 Hard, you have to do 2 workouts, 45-minute workouts a day. One has to be outside. So I went for a walk. And then the next one can be outside. It can be inside, but it has to be 45 minutes. And I was like, what am I going to do? And I remembered, this headset thing. I remember Beat Saber. My kid plays Beat Saber. That looked like a little bit of exercise. So I went in and played Beat Saber. And then when I got out of Beat Saber I went to the apps to see what else was available. I didn't even type anything in. But because I had played Beat Saber, Supernatural came up. So I downloaded it. And at the time, you could have a 30-day trial. And I did the 30-day trial. And my first workout was 45 minutes because that's all I could do. I could barely make it the 45 minutes.
Is a lot.
It was a lot. I did all the training stuff, all the intro things. I am someone who follows directions. I've got to follow the way it's intended to be. So I did that. And then I went right into my, first few little workouts, which resulted in 45 minutes. And I was winded, like seriously winded. And then I got up and did the same thing the next day and the next day and the next thing. And I did that for 75 days because I was doing 75 Hard. And I just continued. And 3 years later, here I am, getting the headset basically daily for a minimum of 45 minutes when I get in. That is always my goal. It's the habit that I've created from the 75 Hard program. But my first year when I started Supernatural and I started doing 75 Hard, I ended up doing the whole Live Hard program. It's this whole year-long thing within the 75 Hard program that I ended up doing, which really changed my whole life.
Yeah.
I am currently 13 years and 5 months sober. It's a big deal. Thank you.
Huge
it
deal.
Is huge. It is huge.
Yeah.
But I realized in my sobriety from drugs and alcohol, I was using food in place of the drugs and alcohol. Mm-hmm. And obviously that was not healthy. Not for me, not for anyone around me. Mm-hmm. And so 75 Hard really helped me break the habit of using food as a crutch for my emotions. Mm. And Supernatural, I leaned a lot on Supernatural, especially in the beginning when I would get a craving at 6 o'clock at night for chocolate or candy or something. I would get in the headset and do a quick hit, and it would completely knock my urge out for that snack that I really didn't want to have, but I really wanted to have.
So
it helped me.
You programmed yourself.
I did with Supernatural.
Yeah.
And so the combination of the two, Supernatural and 75 Hard, really changed the whole trajectory of my life and my habits, and gave me a really healthy way and outlet to deal with the feelings and emotions that I once tried to regulate with drugs and alcohol, then tried to regulate with food. And now I regulate that with exercise, whether it's getting in the headset or going for a walk, doing stretching. I have now taught myself, and my brain has now taken over that when I'm overwhelmed, feeling that way, my coping mechanism is to exercise. And before Supernatural, that had never existed in my life before.
Right.
So to say Supernatural is very special to me is
yes.
is a little bit of an, I feel like almost an understatement, but also, that obsession that addictive personalities get. I
Yeah.
feel like by getting in the headset and exercising, at least that is the healthiest form of obsession for me.
Of
I'm
course.
not
Yeah.
hurting anybody
Yeah.
by getting in the headset and sort of escaping my day to day problems
Hmm.
and thoughts and feelings, so to say. Also, it helps me work through them. You've got the coaches in one ear saying all these really great positive things, making you laugh, you're moving your body,
Yeah.
you got music. You start either letting go or you have sort
Hmm.
of like these epiphanies. I know this happens to you in the headset sometimes, but for
Hmm.
me, it's like suddenly I have clarity on something that I
Hmm.
have been struggling internally with. And all of a sudden I'm like, whoa, oh my goodness, why didn't I see this before, understand it before? And then here
Yeah.
I am forgiving myself for things that I did 20 years ago, or
Oh.
understanding why I make a decision the way I
Yeah.
do. And
Yeah.
it's definitely a special place. And I know it's a special place for you,
Yeah. I
especially
mean,
with your family life and your
yeah.
special needs son and taking care of yourself.
It's a positive escape. It's a good
Yeah.
escape. It's not choosing something bad when you need the escape, because it sounds like we both did that with
Yes.
food. And not only is it, an escape from your life, you go in there and you're just transported somewhere else. But
Right.
we've talked about this before, having different workouts that we use for different times of what we need. We have
Yes.
feel good workouts. We have some that are like, I want to punch things.
Yes.
I need to go punch things.
Right.
We can work out alone. We could be like, hey, I need a buddy today. We've
Right.
got the outlet of our friends, people we've connected with, the community of, celebrating milestones with other people, having other people celebrate our milestones that we may
Yeah.
not have otherwise celebrated. And we can get in and talk to other people and have that connection. And there's just so much there, so many things that you could use for healing, for connection. But even just going in alone, there is so much there where you could just go in by yourself and just tune everything out and have that. It's I know it sounds crazy to say quieting your mind,
That is exactly what happens.
but it's what
It
happens.
is what
I know
happens.
there's the noise of the targets. That always has to be turned up for me.
Same.
And the loud music, and the coach is talking, but there's something about that is a
Quiets your mind.
calming, quiet, wonderful place to just go away to. And then the
Right.
locations, and it's a full experience.
It 100% is. And I think on especially hard days, pros only. That's why we go to pros onlys, because we
Mhm.
know when we can't quiet all that internal struggling in our brains, we can go into a pros only
Mhm.
and quiet it quickly.
Oh yeah, you don't have
You
to
know?
worry about
No,
thinking about anything
no.
else.
And then
Anything
you
else.
have all those endorphins going and you get out and you're like, wow, I'm in a much better place
Yeah.
mentally to go on and live my life, go do the things I want to do. It truly is an escape, but also helps you face your own realities
Yeah. Yeah.
in the real world by going
That's very true.
into the headset and using your full body.
Yeah.
It's just a very, at the end of the day, a very peaceful experience. Even though we get in there and go crazy and it's not peaceful in the
I
moment,
know.
at the end of the day, when you think back at it, it allows me to stay calm and focused
Mhm.
and remember what I want to do every day and my goals for my own health, for my family, for life
Yeah.
in general. Without it, what would we do? I wouldn't go to the gym.
Gosh, I wouldn't go to the gym. I don't.
No,
Well, I can't. I mean,
that's true.
with my, what I have going on here. I really can't just get in my car and
Right.
leave my kid here and go to the gym. So I didn't really have that option. So
Right.
I know there's been times where he's been in the hospital for extended stays, and I'm like, I need my headset, and better not something exciting come out while I'm in here. But that's happened before.
That has happened.
But the last time we went to the hospital, I took my headset.
Yes, you did.
And it's kind of scary to get in to it when I'm in his room. And anyone, if you've been in the hospital before, you know, people are coming in and out all the time. And I'm like, if somebody comes in here, and I'm like, well, if somebody comes in here, who cares?
Exactly.
I'm in here in this headset, and they better not get in my way because they'll get hit by my arms. So, but it felt so good to get in there, escape, go into my happy place, and then come out of it feeling refreshed. My mind was in a better place. And so if now from now on he does go in, I'm going to try. Sometimes I'm not able to pack it. I'm going to try to pack my headset because it was wonderful to have that outlet.
Yeah, I agree.
So.
And I know, as your friend, I have pushed you several times to bring your headset. And I know you've had a little conflicting, and I would probably have the same conflicting feelings. You're in the hospital with your son.
Yeah, yeah.
But there are people taking care of them. And I know you are his main caregiver. Mm-hmm. It is important for you to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
You can't take care of him without taking care of you.
That is very true.
Even when he is in the hospital. And you have there's so much downtime and so much, waiting for him to get better, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So use that time to help yourself be able to cope with being there.
They have told me they'd give me a conference room, so
well, you better take them up on that.
Give me the conference room then. But I found a time where I knew there weren't people coming in, and I told the nurses, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna give you a heads up. I'm gonna have this thing on my face, and I'm gonna be swinging my arms, and I tried to make sure I moved everything,
right?
Because it's terrifying if you aren't in your space at home, in your normal workout place. It is terrifying to work out somewhere else because you don't know, I don't realize how much I lean and kick and move and sway or whatever. And my living room is pretty big.
Right.
But I've had to come in here into my bedroom, where I'm now kind of right in front of me. And I'd hit my mattress and I thought I was dying because I didn't know what was attacking me. And mattress is soft, coming to get me. Whoa. Yeah. I've worked out in my sunroom, which it's a pretty good size, but I've had my arm brush up against one of my plants and I'm like, whoa,
Intruder, what's happening?
Or one of my kids purposefully come and tap me on the shoulder. I'm like, you little punk.
Right, exactly. No.
So just to displace yourself is not ideal, but just to get into the headset when you wouldn't, to take it, get in and get that mental release, I think is a really cool and important thing to do.
Agree.
Sometimes just getting those workout clothes on though.
It's so hard.
Why is that so hard sometimes?
Oh no.
I've worked out in my street clothes. I've worked out in pajamas. Sometimes I just don't care.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've got to get in the headset. And sometimes that is the block.
It is.
Just changing the clothes.
It 100% is. For me, the block is, I know I'm going to get hot and sweaty and messy looking. And I'm like, well, how am I going to go on about my day looking a hot mess?
I know.
And I've gotten to the point where I don't care anymore.
Yeah, same.
I have to do what I have to do. And it's non-negotiable for me to exercise it for my mental well-being, for my physical well-being, for the sake of everyone I interact with on a daily basis. Yeah. They need me working out. So, I can always wash up quickly, but the hair, I got hats for that.
We just got the hats. They've been wonderful.
No makeup. That's fine. I'm good with that. I just have to accept it and hope that the world accepts me the way that I come to it as well. Otherwise, because that was a big roadblock for me, because I was like, oh gosh, now I definitely have to take a shower. I had to put makeup back on. Yeah. Exactly. Got to fix my hair. Got to do all these things. And once I let go of that, I don't make as many excuses to get into the
I
headset.
think now we're just ready all the time because
Right.
we never know if we're going to get out. Like I can get in the morning for my normal morning time and then get out. And then in the afternoon, somebody can be like, you want to jump in, and do this one? Or you never
Right.
know
You don't.
what may come. So I'm like, I'm supernatural. I try to be supernatural ready all the time.
Same.
Like I can't
Same.
take a shower. What if somebody wants to get in this
Right.
afternoon? Or
Exactly. What
especially
if I
during
gotta do
competition.
something? Exactly. Or even if I have a bad day, if I just get in and do a good quick hit or a favorite
Yeah.
shorter workout, it just improves my mood. Or in the afternoon when I get really tired, you know, we
Yeah.
love our afternoon lattes, but sometimes even an afternoon blah blah blah, even
Afternoon.
even an afternoon latte doesn't help. And then like if I just get in the headset and work out for a minute, I tend to have way more energy for the
Yeah.
rest of the evening. So yeah, we are usually headset ready.
See, and I didn't work out Saturday. We had a busy, kind of fun-filled day. Well, fun-filled, I don't know. We were out pulling staples and taking up a fence because I'm having some trees cut down tomorrow. But, we had a lot of things going on
Yeah.
Saturday, and I probably could have gotten in Saturday evening, but I was like, well. And then yesterday was Sunday and a lot of family things out to eat. I just didn't get in. So today I feel icky. I kind of feel
Right.
like, going one day for like a rest day for me is normal, but going 2 days.
Is a
But
lot.
what will happen is when I get in today, it's going to be, I don't
All
know
new.
if this happens to you. It's all new. It's like everything is just sharper and cooler and neato. It's just
Right.
it's just really it, and sometimes I think a break from it, if you are feeling not excited about supernatural and you take like a 3 or 4 day break, I don't recommend it, but you get back in on that fifth day because I've had forced breaks. I know you've had forced
Yeah.
breaks, and then when you get back in, you're like, whoa! I don't know why it's like that. I mean, after
Just
three
all new.
years,
Right.
but
It's
it
just so
feels,
exciting.
yeah, it's just that's the way it
Everything
is for
looks
me.
brighter.
It does.
Everything sounds better. It's just,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just,
I just think it's that reconnection to what you
agreed.
missed, and it's just a feel good. I don't know about you, but when people put on the headset and try it out, and they aren't as excited about it or obsessed with it as I am, I'm like,
What's wrong with you?
why? Yeah, what is wrong with you?
What's wrong with
This
you?
is the most amazing thing ever. And I
Agreed.
try not to talk to people about it too much because I could totally word vomit all over somebody about
I mean,
supernatural.
we have a podcast.
Right, exactly. This is our avenue for it now.
Right.
So I guess we're not allowed to, but yeah, I could totally go crazy
Same.
about some supernatural
Same.
on some people. And they're just looking at me like, okay, lady, you're weird.
Well, it's funny because my partner, he has no desire to supernatural, like none whatsoever.
Same.
But he knows all about it. He knows all about it because I talked to him and he will sit there and listen to me. He never shuts me down like, oh my gosh, Marla, will you shut up now
Again.
about this? What about your competition? What about your team? What about this? What about that? He's actually very supportive and listens.
Yeah.
And so sometimes he'll just ask me, oh, is today a pros only day, Marla? Because you're very excited. And I'm like, it's not, but this really cool high flow came out, and
Yeah.
he'll ask me questions about it. And so I'm lucky to have someone in my life that supports me in that way and never shuts me down,
Right.
which let me just say, I have put up 20 something years of him talking about his video games and listen to him. I understand the games. I don't play them, but I understand how they work.
Yeah.
I get it. So he better be supportive and listen to me.
That's partnership,
Yabber on.
though.
It is.
Yeah, it's
Yabber on about supernatural. But I think
right.
he is very happy that we have this outlet and that I have made so many friends here in supernatural community because it makes my life better, to have this outlet, to have people who understand the way I feel about supernatural because they feel the same way. I
Right.
definitely don't take that for granted. at
Yeah.
all,
I
you
mean,
know?
75 hard though, when you said that, that's to go from where you were straight into 75 hard. How
Yeah.
did you find that program?
Well, I'm sort of like one of those extreme people. I'm either all in
Apparently.
or not in at all. And I get a little obsessive about things. And so when I'm all in, I am all in.
All in.
And I had tried previously before I found 75 hard. I'll get to how I found it in a second. But before I got to actually did 75 hard, I had tried several times over the years to start getting healthier, to eat better in the sense of fuel my body and not overeat because I'm eating my feelings away or I'm bored or whatever, but to be mindful and connected to my body and what my body needed. And I failed every time. I gave up. I just went right back to my old ways. And there were some friends on Instagram that had come across 75 hard and were doing it. And they were posting about it in their story and their experience, and they would check off these tasks. And they would post in their story, like day 4, day 5, day 10. And I'm like, what are they doing? And after I had seen 2 friends fail and start over. And if you forget one of the tasks that day, you have to start over at day 1. Okay, so you have to do all these tasks and you have to do them every day before you go to sleep. So from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, that's when your day starts over. So it's not like it starts over automatically at midnight. If you're still awake at midnight and you need to finish, then finish. So anyway, I watched some friends really persevere and show some grit. I was invested. I was invested in their story, like invested in their success, invested in watching them grow and change their mentality and their mindset. And I thought, I need something extreme. I'm going to just make one small change and keep it up. I'm just going to do this. I'm not that kind of person. I needed a complete revamp of my whole existence. And the way that I viewed food, the way that I viewed doing hard things, discipline, not giving up. Up until 75 hard, I'd basically given up on anything when it came to my health and to myself, making myself a priority. Yeah. So I did go from like nothing to all in. That's crazy. Drinking a gallon of water a day, 2 workouts a day, 1 outside. I walked/ran. I got up to a little bit of running intervals, but I prefer walking.
Yeah. Better on the joints.
It's way better on the joints. And it became like a very mindful practice for me. It sucked. It sucked at first.
I was going to say, wasn't your body
my feet
in
always hurt. My knees always
some type
hurt.
of shock,
It was in shock. Yes.
I mean,
and a lot
to
of
go
people
from
think
that to that. Yeah.
right. A lot of people think in 75 hard, like each workout has to be full on to failure, kick your butt every time. And that's not true. You can have recovery workouts. You can, you can do yoga. It needs to be intentional. You're moving your body. And so I made that a point to do. So sometimes I would get into every day I got into the headset and did 45 minutes regardless. And remember, I was on loads 4 months. So it wasn't like I could just go in and go a little bit lower of an intensity for an active rest day. No.
That's very true. You didn't have.
I didn't have another.
You knew that when you went in, what you were getting into. There wasn't like, well, I'm sore, so let me do a low minus or a. Were there even getting started in there? Because
there were a few getting started, but I did the getting started right off the bat, and I never went back to those. But I did stay on low 4 months. It was almost a good 6 months before I moved. And I know we've talked about this before, but I went a medium quick hit. And I remember the quick hit. It was an Absolutious. It's with Leanne. And they had tall triangles. And that's when I started, after I got used to this quick hit, I started doing my own version of knee strikes in this one quick hit. Yeah. I have done this quick hit over 75 times because it was my training quick hit. It was what I did to move up to medium
To
intensity.
medium.
Or when I had a super crazy sweet craving that I needed to pass, make it go away, because I did not want to give in to it. Because
Yeah.
I know me. I'm not one person who can have just a piece of chocolate. Okay?
I was gonna say, what's your craving food? Mine's chocolate.
Mine's chocolate. I can't
Yeah,
just have one.
chocolate.
I can't. I
Yeah.
can't. I can't. I'm unfortunately am still that way.
Wow. So you have
Yeah.
one little bite and you're gone.
I'm gone. I'm done.
Wow.
I'm eating 3 or 4 candy bars or a bag of fun
That's
size candy
crazy. And
bars.
you sit there.
Yes.
I just had this mental image of you with packages of
Dude.
Snickers are all around you.
Yes. It's
That's
Butterfingers
insane.
and Snickers and Milky Way bars. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So
It's
supernatural was your
yes,
a
my way
getaway from
of,
that. Wow.
and if I could just make it through the quick hit, the
Mm,
craving disappeared for me. It was gone. And if you've ever quit sugar or cut out anything from your diet, you know how hard it is for the first 2, 3 weeks. It's very difficult. And
mm-hmm.
so I went through a lot of emotions. And I know a lot of people, do what's best for you. A lot of
Right.
people don't want to cut everything, and that's fine. This is what was best for me.
Right. You just
I,
knew that you had to
yes,
do extreme or you weren't going to be successful.
I was not. I was
And
not.
everyone's different. So that's interesting
Yeah,
for
everyone is
that.
different.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't suggest, look, I do suggest 75 hard to lots of people. I think it's a great program. It is a hardcore program. If you need to drastically change
Change, yeah.
something in your life, or you want to prove to yourself that you still have mental toughness and discipline, if you need a reminder, it is a fantastic program. I would recommend it to anyone. However, I don't believe it is for everyone.
Yeah, no, probably not. I've heard that it takes 21 days to break a habit.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder why 75-day hard. Maybe it's
Because
75
I
days.
don't believe, yeah, I don't believe the 21 day,
You don't think it's enough?
it's not enough. It is not enough.
Interesting.
It is
Yeah,
definitely
because I've
not
heard
enough.
21 days, that's
Right.
been the thing. So I cut sugar out drastically when I lost my weight the 8, 9 years ago. I need to go nail that down. That's not easy to do. I mean, drastically change the way I was eating, and a lot of that was food for me. But just to cut something out like that and just say you're not going to have it anymore. I mean, it's all you think about. Tell
is all.
you can't have something. That's
Right.
all you're going to think about.
But you
So
have to rewire your brain. It's an
yeah.
addiction like anything else.
Yeah.
You have to rewire your brain. And after you stop eating the sugar, everything is sweet. After that, everything is so sweet
true.
after that. I eat sugar now.
Yeah.
I would like to get back to more discipline with my
But
eating habits, for sure.
what I've learned is if you aren't ready mentally to do something, it won't happen. Nobody can change that for you. Nobody can tell you. I can't say, Marla, you're not going to have sugar anymore after
Right.
today. It has to be, you have to, not you, but
Yeah.
anyone who wants to make a change,
Yes.
they have to just, and that's how it was for me. I mean, I'll tell my story. I got on the scale with a kitty cat because I needed to give the kitty cat some medicine. And I got on the scale with this cat and I'm like, I hope this cat weighs like 50 or 60 pounds because there's no way. I had no idea. I had not been on the scale. I didn't know. So I stepped off the scale and I got on the scale because that's what you have to do. And that was it for me. That's all it took. And I was like, okay, I had the books and I did something called Trim Healthy Mama. And I had all the material, but I just never sat down and took the time to go
Right.
through it and understand it and know what to do. And when I got off that scale, I went and got my book. And I started because that's all it took for me. So it just has to be
It's
that
a
one thing.
switch.
But nobody ever had to tell me to do supernatural for any 21 days. I was hooked on
Right.
day one. Isn't that
Right.
interesting?
And see, I often wonder if I would have found Supernatural without being invested in this 75 hard program, if I would have stayed with it, but who knows? All I know is if I was sore, if I was tired, mentally, physically, I still got in Supernatural. I still did what I had to do. And it took me about 2 months. And I could confidently say after that 2 months that it was a habit. After that, it was, I'm going to get in. I'm going to get in. In fact, my first year of Supernatural, I did not miss a single day.
Wow.
I got in for 365 days.
That's
I got
awesome.
a check mark, a star, 365 days. And that was a big, big deal for me personally because it's the first time I had ever put my fitness and made it a priority in that way.
Yeah.
Exactly. And, you know, it's fun. It's funny to think about now because you and I, we consider Supernatural a workout app. And we hear people call it a game and we want to get defensive. It's not a game. It's not a game, y'all. It is a workout app. But now that we've been doing it for as long as we have, I see the gaming aspects of it. And
yeah.
it is fun and it is playful.
It
And
is.
Supernatural can be whatever you want it to be. You can go in there and use your whole full body and get a killer workout. Add resistance bands, get a strength training-ish workout.
Yeah. Go crazy.
You could go in there and just sit and flick your wrists and it can be a game.
Yep.
It can
That's
be
very
whatever you want it to be. Man, I love Supernatural.
Me too. We could sit here again for days.
For
so
days.
when you first started, were you able to move the way you move now?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. In fact, I had never really done squats before I got in Supernatural. Besides daily movement that you would normally do. And even at that, I bent. I always had lower back pain because I didn't squat. I just, I bent. And like when we would have to move furniture around the house, Chris would always be like, okay, now lift from your legs. And I'm like, what?
What does this even mean?
I'm just going to just do what I want to do. And I had years of chronic back pain, lower back pain, like debilitating in the bed a couple of weekends out of the year because I could not move. I could not do anything. I couldn't get on the floor with my kid and play.
Wow.
You know, I weighed 120 pounds more than I currently weigh. It was a lot of stress on my body.
Yeah.
And so, no, when I first started, I did not move my feet. I tried to move around a little bit, you know, but I wasn't squatting. I wasn't lunging. It was about a month and a half in, and I was practicing squats and lunges out of the headset because I want to make sure I had good form because my knees were hurting.
Yeah.
I had never done any sort of strength training
body
for
was
my
mad
legs.
at you, girl.
I mean,
Your
it
body
was
was
so mad.
mad.
It was so mad, man. You got to imagine,
what
you
are
know.
you doing?
Exactly. And I would not give up. I wanted to keep going. So I worked through that soreness, that pain. It wasn't a bad pain. It was just my body learning to do some dang work, really, you know? So it wasn't until about 2 months in or so that I really felt good about doing squats and lunges and all of that kind of stuff. And I definitely did not move around the way that I do now. Definitely not.
I don't either.
Yeah. You have lots of video of you. Probably not your initial plays, obviously.
I have a few of them. They're painful to watch in different reasons, but I did not move a lot. And I was going all out because I thought that that's how you could have the highest power was to just hit them as hard as you could. But anyway, I'm hurting
Well, see,
myself.
I think a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
They go all in thinking they have to hit so forcefully, and that's how you get your power scores up, and that's how you get a better workout. But it's really not. It's a full body workout, and people think they're using their full body. But have you recorded yourself?
Right.
Tell me you've
gotta
recorded yourself and you've watched it, and you see that you're using your legs and your torso to move your arms. And I think
I had to train myself for that.
yes. Yeah, definitely. So did I.
Yeah.
And I think the more you progress in your supernatural journey, you start to train different things.
Oh yeah.
You know, you
It
start to
doesn't
focus on
come
different
from
areas.
the beginning. I mean, maybe it does for some people, but I don't think it does for a lot.
I don't either.
I mean, and I really did have a picture in my mind what I looked like recorded myself, watched it for 10 seconds, deleted it. I don't even have it. My very first recording, because I'm like, I don't look like that. That's what I do look like that. That's what I look like. And that was not what I thought I looked like at all. But over time, I was like, oh, I'm not getting in those lunges. I'm not getting in those squats. I wasn't even doing the squats right. I was doing more bending forward. No wonder our lower backs are hurting. And so I think there was a whole training that I had to put myself through, but I kind of did supernatural. I don't want to say wrong, but maybe not with the best form and the best full body in mind until I started recording myself. So I now just try to feel everything everywhere. And when I'm doing it, I really try to focus on, am I feeling it in my abs, my legs, my booty, my back, just everywhere. I try to use everything and that's why I love when you have targets that are wide that you can go and reach for and just, all the triangles. Like I didn't hate triangles, but I was frustrated with triangles and put myself through. I don't know. I'll have to explain triangle training one day because
we could make a whole episode on that.
Where do you get that? I know we should. But I actually had to put myself through triangle training to know how to do the triangles. And I think that's a question that does come up a lot in the community. Like, all these triangles, what am I supposed to be doing here? So, but I totally, what I did is I mentally kind of took away the arm targets and chilled on those. I still hit them, but it wasn't my main focus. And I just turned my main focus to doing what the triangles told me to do. And as naturally as hitting these white and black targets were, the triangles were able to come as naturally to me. So I didn't have to think about, I was irritated because I was like, oh, wait, I'm hitting the target, but this triangle am I squatting? Am I supposed to lunge? What? I was so frustrated with them. So I got to a point where they came just as naturally to my flow as any other target, as any other, anything that I did in there. So that was one of the best things I think I did last year.
You did spend a lot of time on
triangle training. Yes. And I was like, what is all these triangles? And there are a lot of triangles and they do move you in all different kinds of ways, but now they're my favorite. And I'm like, give me all of them. You want them for the points.
Yes. Triangles equal points.
Yeah. But I want them so I can dance because the choreographers put them in there. Well, I always hope that they do to get me to move more because it's harder for me to move without that. Here is how I want you to move. So I enjoy when that is put in there for me and I don't have to try to make something up on my own.
I do a lot of making stuff up and following the triangles or completely ignoring what they're telling me to do with the triangles. And I just do what I want.
Do whatever you want. Yeah. And I have days I go in and I just fool around and do whatever I want to. So it's fine.
But the first play of a workout, I do it as it is intended for me to move because I want to experience it. And sometimes if it's a very complex workout, I do exactly what they're asking me to do the second, third, fourth, fifth time. It's not until I really nail that down that I'll add in my own thing. But I'm also a workout repeater. If I find workouts that I really enjoy, I will repeat them often. And I know some people don't do that. They don't repeat workouts. They're not into it. They're one and done. And I'm like, oh, I've done that one. I will never do that one again. Now let's go to another one. Let's find one I love.
If something gives me or you a good feeling.
Yes.
It's being saved and, it could go in our folder. We don't have those.
I want folders, man. I want folders.
Give us folders now.
Yes, for sure. So you mentioned earlier when you were talking about triangles and focusing on each muscle, making sure each muscle group is activated. I want to talk about a workout that came out last week.
Oh.
Yes, it was one of the workouts of the day. It was an Absolicious workout. It was called Brawn Fire, which I think is hilarious. And let's just say that is my cat Tater on the cover. Yes. He's like, I'm ready to fight. Let's go. That's totally Tater. But this was an Absolicious workout. Yes, it was. And this was an Absolutious workout. And I did this workout this morning. I'm late to the game, late to the party. But I went in there and I totally spaced on the fact that it was an Absolutious workout. But I left that workout with a killer ab workout. Like the targets were placed for ab activation. Something I know that we have complained about in the past on this podcast. If you tell us it's an Absolutious, it better be an Absolutious. This workout did it. And I'm ashamed to say that I was listening to Doc. I heard him say to use my abs. I heard him, but it didn't register until the very last song.
Yeah.
This is an ab workout. No wonder why he keeps focusing on abs.
You're like, dude, we got it. Abs,
we got it. I got it. I'm using my abs, but the movements, man, the targets, the way the triangles led you, it really was an ab workout. Like the mapping was mapped. Like the person that mapped this one was like, okay, let's see if I do this movement. Is it getting my abs? Is it getting my lower abs? Where's it? They had that all figured out when they were mapping this workout.
Understood the assignment.
Yes, they sure did.
I loved the double targets with the two portals, like with the tails.
The multi-lane work.
The first song. Yes. It was so good. The first song, I wanted to go back, and I should go back and record the first song. It was my favorite.
Yeah.
I just loved the way the choreography moved
And
you through
flowed.
the whole thing. Yeah.
Well, you and I love multi-lane work.
Yeah.
So it causes us to stretch more and use more of our range of motion. And that's what you and I are after 3 years of being in here and doing up and down targets in this. We want range of motion hits now. We're like, get us moving.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know.
Taller,
right. Exactly. And so when they have portals coming out of lanes, we're like, yes. It gets our attention right away because we don't see that every day.
Right.
Unless we're replaying our old workouts that we love, or not old, but
the
in our
that we know we can go get that
exactly. I really loved it, and I thought that the setup was well thought out, and the use of tails. And you guys hear me say setup, and what I mean when I say setup is you hit one target and it naturally leads you to the next hit. Yeah. You're not thinking about it. You're not having fumbling. You're not fumbling. You're not having to reposition your arm. You're not having to turn it. You don't have to. It just naturally wants to lead. You're flowing.
Yeah.
It's a hang up for me. As soon as the setup is not there, I'm like, grumble.
She will announce.
I will
if the setup is not there.
It is my first. It's
if you're in a party with us, we don't like something, we will let you know.
Yeah, we do.
Don't worry.
Yes, we do. But the setup
There's either
was
noises or we're just going to tell you.
Exactly. Yeah. Usually they're a little bit of both.
Grumble.
Exactly. But the setup was great. I thought in this workout, the setup and the way the tails led you was just so, I didn't have to think about it.
Intuitive. Yeah.
Intuitive. Yeah. Exactly. I really enjoyed this workout. I bookmarked it. I saved it. I think it was my favorite workout that I did last week. Really loved it.
I had more on my list that the day that I did this. I think I did it the day after it came out, and I had some more workouts that I wanted to do, but I wanted to go and do this one again, like straight back into it.
Right.
And some of it for me too is the music. The songs, they were so good. I just like that. The music for
the last song. Was this the first time they have redone Spitfire for a medium?
I have to look. Not 100% sure, but it was remapped from anything. It was brand new.
Yeah, it was
and I believe they all were. I think everything was redone. There was nothing that was a redo. I mean, we've had all these songs in other workouts. Every single song. None of the songs are new. But all of this, I'm pretty sure, was remapped for Absolutious for this workout.
It was a great workout.
It was so good.
It was not a boring, get straight to work, you're working out on your abs workout. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It
Yeah. It
was,
was fun.
it was fun. It was fun for
Yeah.
sure. I loved
It
it.
was a really fun one. I
Yeah.
loved it too. Definitely in the favorites. So,
Yay.
yay.
We're on the same page.
So, yeah, it was a really good one. Probably, like you said, my favorite from the week also. Weekly workout suggestion. They gave us suggestions
Yes.
last week, and
I've
I
got
never
something funny
made it.
about that. You said I didn't do them yet. There was only one workout in there that I haven't done prior, and I found this hilarious because I was like, "Oh, I wonder if I'll get any new workouts that I'm
Yeah,
going to discover and love." I had notes on every single workout that was suggested to us last week.
interesting.
Yep. So
So, do you have a favorite, or it's not in front of you? So I'm putting you on the spot.
you are putting me on the
I've done a
spot.
lot of them too, so I was very familiar with most of
Right.
them. Were some of my favorites too. So great workouts that were
The
suggested.
boxing, believe Miranda, we call Miranda Mouse. I believe Miranda suggested it. And in my mind, I got it confused with an older high boxing that I used to do with Julie that had,
Game time.
yeah, in the club in it, 50 Cents in the
Yeah.
Club song on it. But she corrected me. So I went back through the library and looked at this, the boxing workout that Miranda had suggested. And I had notes on it already. So I
Okay.
bumped it up in my library. I plan on doing it later today or tomorrow because it's a high boxing, and I do limit my high boxing because I have an injury in my neck that high boxing sort of flares for me. So I do plan to do it because I remember loving that workout and knowing,
Yeah.
oh yeah, yeah, and we'll pop it up on the screen so you guys can
Yes,
see it. But
we will.
it was cool to flip it instead of suggest a workout to ask for workouts.
It was.
But this week's workout suggestion.
Oh, this week's workout suggestion is the drop electro Latin. We talk about this workout a lot.
We
Oh,
do.
this is such a good one.
It is.
It's a high intensity flow, 19 minutes from 10 4 21. 21
We're going way
with
back.
Leanne. Yeah, and
Yes,
this one is really good. It's
it
got
is.
some old mapping. I mean,
It
when we've
does.
gone back and done it, we're kind of like, oh, but
Right.
this one is good. And the last song on this one, it's something about the song. It has a drop in it, and it just, oh, so
Yeah, you
good.
go nuts. You love it.
I
I
do
love the
go
last
nuts.
song too. For me, it's the first song. It's what sold me on this workout and what gave me FOMO. It was before I was doing high intensity workouts, and I saw Jessa post the first song. She posted side by side, and I was like, I need to get to this workout. What is this workout? And I looked, and it was a high, so I bookmarked it, knowing I could not do it then. I
At
wasn't going to
that
do it then.
time. Yeah.
And it sat in my bookmarks for like almost 2 months. And one day I just got brave enough and I said, I don't care if I'm ready for high intensity or not. I'm going to do it because I want to do the song. And it did not disappoint. I loved it. And I've loved this workout ever since. It is definitely one of the ones that it's fast. You know what I'm
It is
saying?
fast.
You go
Yeah.
in, we love all of the music.
Yeah.
Some of the mapping is a little old, but we obviously forgive it because we love the workout so much.
I wish they would come out with a whole electro Latin,
Yes.
because this is the drop, but I wish they would come out with an electro Latin, which is, I guess this is we have these same songs in like other Fuego workouts.
Right.
So maybe it is more like a Fuego
Overlap.
thing now. Yeah,
Maybe
it
it
is an
is.
overlap. But this one just has always stuck out to us being
Same.
a 2021.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting if they try it, what their thoughts are on it.
Yeah.
Because it's
I
a
wanna hear
good
about it.
workout. It's a
For
good
sure.
workout.
And
I
don't
think
forget.
oh, go
No, you go. You go. I'm
well,
sorry.
one of the funniest things, no, Antonio, the second song,
Yeah.
she mentions Coach Doc, and I always
Yes.
think that's funny because she's like, "Get in here and do this the way Coach Doc would want you. We
Right.
need to represent." So anyway,
Well,
go
it's
ahead.
funny because you said second song, and it technically is the second song, but it's really the first song because the
Oh.
very first song is a warm up song.
It is. So that's
Yes.
why. 'Cause I was looking, I was like, I thought. So that is probably
Yes.
why
Because
you.
if you hit skip warm up, you
That's
will
right.
skip the warm up song. It's only a minute.
No.
And if you're willing to do the whole warm up and do the warm up song, because they used to do this back in the day, they've kind of stopped doing that. I think about a year ago. The last time I remember it was Forget the Madhouse. Forget the Madhouse had a warm up song.
It did.
Which I bet everyone's like, what? What are you talking about? Because you skip the warm up, you don't know.
Well, and there must be something that they were able to look and see that maybe, I don't know, that people weren't doing them and skipping them. Not sure.
Well, you didn't get points for the warm up song.
You didn't. I mean, if they gave you an automatic, 10 points or something.
Right.
Maybe more. Need more than 10, 20.
I mean, any of it. Whatever work you're doing, you should get points for.
Yeah. That's true. If they gave you points for it. I mean, a whole minute of hitting targets, you should get some points.
That's what I'm saying. And if they had triangles in there, then, you get a lot more points.
Exactly. And if it was a lower intensity for the intensity, which I don't know if it was or not. I did a lot of them, but I don't remember. If it kind of graduated you up into it, would have been a great thing, but no points. So skip.
Yeah. Yep. Skip. Sorry.
Try the warm up. Tell us if it's good, because I don't remember it.
I don't think I've ever done the warm up song on here. I
thought Antonio was the first. I was really confused.
Yeah, Antonio is the first after the warm up song.
And the funny thing is I can see the location in my head.
Same. I can
of
too.
Every single, actually, of these songs.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, we've played this workout so many times. It really has stuck with us all this time. In fact, we go in, and it's been a while since I've played it. We should probably play it this week since we're suggesting it to everyone.
That is very true. We should play it too.
And then when we're done, we should check and see if we've rated it.
That's very true. I don't know.
I don't know.
Old ones. Well, you used to be able to thumbs up them.
Right.
And so that was your rating. So some of them I just have, it just shows up that I liked it. And then I know that was like the old rating. And I did rate it on what their rating system was then. But now you can go in and fully rate it. So it's every now and again I'll run into an old one where I'm like, oh, need to rate it.
Exactly. Don't forget to rate your workouts. Even a 2021.
Yes.
Especially your new workouts. Make sure you're rating it. Do the needful. Look to the left. As soon as you're done your workout and you go to the card and it's telling you your score, look to the left, give it the rating, do the thing. They will appreciate it. And in turn, we will all appreciate it, because then they're listening to our feedback.
That's right.
If you don't like something or you like something, tell them. That's the only way to get your voice heard, basically, and make any change,
That's true. I mean, don't be like our friend Julie, who's known for the pig butt workout, who's probably done the pig butt workout a lot of times. Yes. I don't know her number, so I'm not going to say. And then find out that she didn't even rate it. She didn't even rate it.
Yeah.
Well, she fixed it, I think,
she did.
right?
She did fix it. She's finding that she hasn't rated a lot of workouts that she should have once rated. And now it sounds like she is getting in the habit of rating all of her workouts. And I love that. I love that.
I love it. I love that she tells us, even though she knows we're going to get after
exactly.
Be like, you didn't rate it yet. So,
right. Yeah. Especially her favorites.
Exactly. Well, guys, we're so excited or so glad that you tuned in and listened to us today. We really appreciate you all and taking time out of your busy day. So thank you.
Thank you, guys. And don't forget, the real joy and love of Supernatural is found in the journey you go on. Bye. Thanks for joining us on today's episode of For the Love of the Map. As always, you can join the discussion on our Facebook and Instagram profiles. The links can be found in the description box below. If you find value in our content, we'd appreciate if you'd share this show with your friends. See you guys next week.